Good morning and welcome to my hobby bench and maybe just what I'm going to call tool talk. So how many times have you walked into a store, particularly a cool store, a hardware store, a tool store of some sort, with one thing in mind that you need to get, and then you end up coming out with something totally different, or in addition to what you went in there to buy? Well, that just happened to me because it just did. And so the store I'm talking about in particular is Harbor Freight. So that's one of those stores that I really have to go in there and have a list and really stick to the list. I did not do that today. I went in there with one item I needed to get, which was some new batteries for my digital calipers, and they just so happen to be the same batteries that go on my tachometer, which is a good thing. And I ended up coming out of there with something totally different, which is this. They had these out there listed. They showed these. They had black, red, and blue, and of course I like blue. So it's a mini toolbox, and I don't know, did I really need it? Maybe, maybe not. But I was hoping that this thing, and I'll get to showing this a little bit more here, has these nice drawers, top that opens. It says magnetic. Yeah, the drawers are magnetic. Really kind of a nice little toolbox, and it fits nicely on my table over there where this is, which is the whole reason I got that, was to try to do something with this. This is what I have been storing my tools in, that just sit here on the table all the time so I can grab them and work on all the engines and stuff that I mess with. Well, does that look at all organized to you? I just throw stuff in here and I end up spending 30 or 40 seconds looking for something instead of actually being able to get some work done. So the thought behind buying that toolbox was to hopefully make this a little bit more usable. Now that I'm looking at this toolbox, I'm wondering, wow, maybe I have more stuff in here than I really need. So maybe this will also help me do one of those things where, do I really need this one here now? But see, the thing is, I reach behind me all the time because I've got a cardboard box in the closet right behind me that has other tools that are more seldom used. These are the ones that seem to be used the most, and maybe as I go through this, I can actually, like this prop reamer. I don't use a prop reamer. I just used this the other day to ream a prop out to put on an engine, and then I just did this instead of having another place to put it. So it's like, that doesn't really need to be in here. So I'll end up having to go through this stuff and see, like, this tool here is a tool that's very useful in pulling off connecting rods when you're working on engines. It's not designed for that. That's not what it was designed for, but it works for that. And I just found that one of my Allen's keys, hex keys, is out of its jacket. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here maybe that I can just kind of go through and say, do I really need it? But then, like I said, after looking at this, you know, this isn't deep at all. So it's only as deep as that, and then, you know, the thickness of the lid there. So I mean, this is probably about the thickest thing I've got, and that seems to fit fine in there. I guess what my concern might be is that this looks like that other thing here in no time, because these drawers, while they're nice, it looks like there's still quite a bit of it back in there that's kind of hidden under here that you really can't get to. But at least it came with these little rubber mats, which is nice. So I mean, I understand that a drawer can only pull out so far, but man, to have this much of it, let's see how much of it, you know, at least a third of it, maybe a quarter of it that you can't actually see in there, you have to reach in there and grab. We'll see. So anyway, that's my little acquisition for today, my short little video saying hopefully this will assist me in being a little bit more organized from a tool standpoint, so that I don't tend to get frustrated when I'm sitting here saying I need something quickly. Because what I'll do normally when I'm working on an engine is I'll lay out all the tools on the table that I know I'm going to need, as opposed to, you know, reaching in there and digging. But there are occasions where I just come running in here, slap something on the table, and start grabbing tools, And that's when the frustration comes in. It's like, where does that go? Where is it? It always turns out to be at the bottom of this, so that all of this stuff ends up laying all over the place, and it's like I've got more cleanup to do when I'm done. So anyway, enough of that. Hopefully this will help me to get a little bit more organized from a tool standpoint, but I mean, how can you go wrong when you're buying a toolbox or tools or whatever? There's really never anything negative about that. So that's my video for today.